one for the one and only DNVR. Two goes out to Zach Mace, Arcade, and the bar. Three for Mr. B in that old trophy case. Number four, we're still waiting for, well, bring on the chase. Out on the field at Mile High, Broncos win is our desire. Coupled with a break, brew and a friend, bleed orange and blue to the bitter end. Come and join us, DNVR. We are DNVR.
We are DNVR, and we are live from Studio A. The A stands for all backups. All backups. That's what the Broncos will be facing on Thursday Night Football tomorrow, and we'll get into all of that in just a second. But first, want to give a shout-out to our presenting sponsor, MSU Denver Online. msudenver.edu/online is where you can scope out all they have to offer, and they have a whole hell of a lot to offer, including 750 total classes, 45-plus online and hybrid programs. There's no better place to go but MSU Denver if you're looking to maintain a full-time job while, of course, getting a better education so you can later get a better full-time job. Check them out, msudenver.edu/online.
My boy, Ryan, what's up? I cannot believe the gift the Broncos are giving tomorrow, but you know what, Ryan? If you ruin a good gift, oh boy, that is just the end of things.
And see, this is my problem, Zach, because I woke up this morning to the news that the Cleveland Browns will be starting Case Keenum. Case frickin' Keenum.
Case Keenum.
And I thought to myself, hell yeah, there it is. What a gift. What great fortune. The vibes must be immaculate. And then I opened up my Twitter app. Ali, if you'd bring up the comment. Can I see the comments? There they are. Okay, all right. Then I opened up my Twitter app and started scrolling through.
It's a bad idea if you want to get your day off to a good start.
And what did I see? Bad vibes.
Negativity.
Bad vibes.
Yep.
Bad vibes.
Yep.
Bad vibes. Negativity. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. If the Broncos lose this, if the Broncos lose that, if the Broncos lose, I'm out. I got news for you. The Broncos aren't losing. The Broncos are not losing to Case goddamn Keenum. They're not losing to Dearness Johnson. They're not losing to a team with no quarterback, no running backs, no tackles, and no wide receivers. Zach, it's not happening. The Broncos are going to win this game. Everyone needs to turn it around. Flip that frown upside down. This is going to be awesome because the Broncos are going to win the game, and they're going to have a chance then to play the Washington football team the next week at home. And all of a sudden, all of these negative vibes, these bad feelings are going to flip around real quick. Now, that doesn't mean they're a great team, but they are going to beat the Cleveland Browns. I guarantee it.
Guaranteed. Love it. You're pretty much like Von Miller yesterday, Ryan, who came out and guaranteed that he's going to have a big game. And then he said if he has a big game, that will lead to a win. So Von Miller yesterday did what he did 3 years ago to the date nearly and guaranteed the Broncos a win. He went pretty much just that far for this game.
Von's scared. I'm not scared.
And Ryan, I do understand why people are nervous about this game, though. I do understand why people are worried because what if they do lose to the team that you just described, not having a starting quarterback, not having their two top running backs, not having their offensive line, not having wide receivers, not having their leading tackler on the defensive side? It's going to be very bad for the Broncos. And people look at these past 3 weeks and they say, absolutely should have beaten the Steelers. That was a team where Ben Roethlisberger was in decline. It was a road game just like this one. And then the Ravens game, I think people understand. The Ravens are a damn good team. And then the Raiders game, they didn't have their coach. And so, Ryan, I think people start thinking, well, what happens if, the Raiders rallied around their interim head coach? What if the Browns rally around all of these backups and somehow beat the Broncos? That's why people get scared, but I do have to like the Broncos' chances better without all of these starters playing. I mean, they're without the second best running back in the NFL, the best backup running back in the NFL, both of their tackles potentially, and their starting quarterback. And then on top of that, you have a pissed off Von Miller, who he says he's going to have a big game. It's really hard for me to convince myself he's not going to have a big game going up against backups. He said it yesterday. He doesn't even know the tackles he's going to be going up against.
He shouldn't, and he better. And he will. Von Miller, we've criticized him a lot of times. There's one thing he does. When he puts his name on it, when he puts a stamp on it, he follows through on it. So he's going to have a great game. Zach, you know what Lamar Jackson, Ben Roethlisberger, and Derek Carr all have in common?
What's that?
They're starting quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Case Keenum, not in that group. And honestly, some of the other guys that they beat up this year, not in that group as well, although I would take Trevor Lawrence over Case Keenum, and I would probably take Daniel Jones over Case Keenum as well. Zach Wilson, he hasn't shown me enough yet to gain that distinction. But I don't care. Clip this, send it to Freezing Cold Takes. They are not losing this game, and they better not. And we can talk. I don't even want to talk about what if, but hell, what if they lose? Fire everyone.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's on the line here, Ryan. That's why it's such a big game.
Yes.
Specifically now, even more so now.
Yes. Fire Vic Fangio, fire Pat Shurmur, fire Ed Donatel, fire every single person that put on a Broncos logo when they went to work today if they lose this one.
Mm-hmm. Because it would be that
Fire
bad.
me. Fire you. Fire
whoa, don't fire. Whoa, what's this? You can fire yourself, not me. Well, Ryan, the reason that some people are also concerned and some people are more excited for this game is you mentioned Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, all starting quarterbacks, and the Broncos weren't able to beat those guys. And the Broncos now get to face a backup quarterback, but Broncos maybe with a backup quarterback of their own. Holy cow, Ryan. Typically, and we talked about this yesterday, typically when a player is going to play in a game or it seems like they're going to play in a game, don't they downplay the injury big time and they say it's nothing? And that's why we were so surprised yesterday that Baker Mayfield came out and said, yeah, my arm's pretty much torn off. I have half a shoulder right now. My upper body doesn't work, yet I'm playing in the game. And we thought, wow. Is he really going to? No, he's not going to. And yesterday, Teddy Bridgewater did the opposite. He didn't talk about his injury. Whenever asked about it, he just said he's going to be in the training room as much as he can and get ready for the game as much as he can. But he displayed it. When he walked to practice, when he walked back from practice, when he walked up to the podium, and when he left the podium, Ryan, it was the biggest limp I've ever seen a player have heading into a game, even if it was the Monday before a Sunday game. And this was a Tuesday before a Thursday night game. He barely made the step up. The podium is one step. He barely made it, and then he kind of joked about how he barely made the step up. When he was done with the podium and had to take that step off, he said, all right, just want to make sure all the cameras are off before I have to do this, because it was that bad. The limp is that bad, and this was 48 hours before the game. I don't know how he and the Broncos can let him play in this game if that injury doesn't go from literally 20% that it was yesterday to 80%. And what is it a 60% Teddy that's better than Drew? Is it a 90% Teddy that's better than Drew? But boy, it actually went backwards from Sunday to Tuesday. Can it make that huge jump from Tuesday to tomorrow? Right now, I'm planning on Drew Lock being the starting quarterback.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Start Teddy, start Drew, start Brett Rippon. I don't care.
So they are the Cleveland Browns tomorrow are as bad as the New York Jets were last year. Because that's, of course, when you started Brett Rippon and you did win.
Yeah, this is a team that last week with Baker Mayfield put up 14 points. Now, the Cardinals are a great team.
Only undefeated team left.
This is a team that, against the Vikings with Baker Mayfield scored 14 points. Now, they did score 42 against the Chargers, but of course, they were running the hell out of the ball, and that game had what I call the shootout effect, where sometimes the reins just fall off, which, by the way, I'll tell you about a game that had that effect in a second here. But this is a team that now has no one. Mm-hmm. I told you yesterday, my vibes were down. If they had Baker Mayfield, I thought they were going to win. But they can't sustain no quarterback, no running backs, potentially down both top 2 tackles, no Odell Beckham Jr., no JOK. It's too much. The Broncos, they have their injuries like any other team, but they are coming into this game shiny and new compared to the Cleveland Browns. So, again, there's a lot of worlds I could have lived in where the Broncos are going to lose this game. I cannot live in that world anymore. Can't live in it. Not a real place. The Broncos aren't losing.
Everything points to it.
And look at the comments. The comments are still doing it. Can't shake the negative vibes. If we lose, blow it up. Keenum going to have his revenge game.
There is a lot of Keenum revenge game going on.
Revenge what? Revenge against the Broncos for paying him too much money to do nothing?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Revenge against the Broncos for ruining his book because he wrote it before he got here and then he didn't have anything good to add to it afterwards?
Potentially, yeah. Just a pissed off game from Case, and the Broncos should also be pissed. Like you're saying, the Broncos were the ones that got the raw end of the deal. But
You're damn right.
How many people were on this defense when Case was here? You did have Vaughn. You did have
Shelby?
You had Shelby. You had Justin Simmons. Is that it? Not that matters
Probably.
too much, but I mean, the familiarity, it really is a different Broncos team than when Case was here. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. I guess from a defensive standpoint, you could say it's bad since the defense is worse this year than it was in 2018. But Ryan, I don't like to do this because it's Case Keenum. But he's a good backup in the league, not a starter. But when we look at numbers, Case Keenum's better than Drew Lock. And that, to me, is crazy to say. Ryan, I don't want to say it, but numbers point to that. When he was with the Denver Broncos, Case Keenum threw 62% completion, 3,800 yards, 18 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Honestly, a pretty darn similar year to what Drew Lock did last year. Just a touchdown or two more than interceptions. A very underwhelming year. Both had losing records. Then his most recent year when he played the most games, 8 games 2 years ago with Washington, he threw 65% completion. He threw for 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a passer rating better than Drew Lock. So that, to me, is the quarterback position doesn't tip this game to me right now. And so you do look at everything else that's going on. And the Browns are...
By the way, you said he played in 8 games?
In 2019, yes.
I think he started 8 games. He played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He started 8 games, yeah.
2 and 8.
10.
2 and 8, the Washington football team in those 10 games.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Not good, but statistically, there's just not a big upgrade, or there's no upgrade at all if it's Drew versus Case. And Ryan, you know what? You ready to give your pick? Because you're guaranteeing a win?
Yep.
Because mine's twofold. So let's get to our Broncos picks. I'll let you go first. It's a guaranteed Broncos win. And how's it going to look?
Yeah, guaranteed Broncos win. I haven't thought about the score. All I know is they're winning, and they're winning easy.
Yeah, they've got to dominate that with your confidence.
I'm going to say the Broncos win this game 27-10.
Dominant. The defense is back. The offense is there. Offense doesn't quite get to 30 points, but with the way the Browns' offense looks, it doesn't look like they're going to need to, Ryan.
That's the thing, is Case Keenum and Drew Lock in a vacuum, sure, you've got a competition. But Drew Lock with his starting tackles, his starting running backs, 2 of his 4 best receivers, who are both really good, his starting tight end, that has to be way better than anything Case Keenum can bring to the table in this game.
It should be. But, Ryan, let's look at the 6 games the Broncos have played. And in those 6 games, the Broncos have won when they've had the better combination of quarterback and coach than the other team. They beat the Giants. I think Teddy Bridgewater and the Vic Fangio at the beginning of the season was better than what the Giants had. 1. Week 2, a second weak player in Trevor Lawrence, go with Urban Meyer, who significantly brings him down. Broncos better combo there. They win. Week 3, Zach Wilson, new head coach for the Jets. Broncos better. They win. Then the next 3 weeks, Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger with Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh with Lamar Jackson, and Derek Carr. He was able to bring the interim head coach up and be a better duo than the Broncos had. All 3 losses for the Broncos there. Do you agree with that logic to get to 3-3 there?
Sure.
Okay. This week, I think regardless of who the quarterback is, the Browns get the edge with the coaching staff. Would you agree with that, Kevin Stefanski?
Uh-huh. I mean, I'll I don't know about Joe Woods, but
yeah, I'm just go head coach.
Yeah, head coach.
Go head coach and
Sure,
an
yes,
entire
of course.
staff. So Kevin Stefanski gets the nod there.
30 teams are probably getting the nod in that category.
Fair. And so when it's a tie,
At least.
I give the nod to the quarterback, to whichever one has the better quarterback. And Ryan, just the way it was 2 weeks ago with Drew, and on top of that, Drew telling us 2 weeks ago how crucial it is for him to get snaps. I asked Vic Fangio yesterday what snaps Drew was getting, and he said it doesn't really matter because it's walkthrough. They're not real snaps. So I'm going, oh my gosh, the Broncos can't catch a break here. If they're going to be, well, except for the Browns getting destroyed, but if it's going to be Drew just told us how important those snaps are, and he has not got those for months, and he is not getting those this week. So I have to give the edge to Case Keenum. And then so the Browns would have those 2 advantages in my mind going into this game. So if it's Drew, everything else is working in the Browns' favor. But those 2 things I can't overlook because those 2 things are the most 2 important. And it's crazy to say, I think the Browns win 17-16.
If Drew Lock is starting.
If Drew Lock is starting.
what about
However, if it's Teddy, the Broncos have the edge at quarterback. And what did I say? If it's a tie between the head coach and the quarterback, give me the quarterback. The Broncos win 20-16.
Wow.
So it comes down to whoever the starting quarterback is. And Ryan, I know you can shoot things up, especially I'm sure you can shoot a foot up a ton.
Yeah.
But the way he looked yesterday was rough.
I think he was playing it up.
For an entire
sympathy.
walk across the field
Yeah.
and back and up and down.
Yeah, trying to gain a little public sympathy.
Now, I'm not sure which way it goes.
Breaking news that Drew's starting. Can you clarify that?
No,
We don't know yet.
Drew is not
I
starting.
mean, he literally just said,
I know.
If-
I'm just telling you the
okay.
Drew,
Keep up, folks.
We'll find out either today or tomorrow, but I truly think this is a true game time decision. And Ryan, they can shoot it up. They can do that. But here's the thing is, if Teddy plays, he's still not going to be 100%. So that means your offensive line is going to have to be better than it has been in the past. And obviously last week it wasn't good at all. But Teddy, for not being a mobile quarterback, is pretty mobile. That mobility is probably going to be gone this week. And we've seen Teddy make a lot of plays outside of the pocket and help his offensive line out a lot. I don't think you're going to be able to do that this week, and that scares me, and that really scares me, and that's why maybe, especially because you got Myles Garrett coming off the edge, maybe I think the coaching staff would probably say a 60% Teddy is better than Drew Lock just right now, but maybe that's why
I
you
would
have to
disagree.
say for this game, maybe it's more of like if Teddy's only 70%, you got to play Drew because of what's coming off the edges.
I mean, I'd probably play Drew at 80% or less. 90%, you're saying this is still our leader. We got to give him a chance. 80% or less, I'd say put in Drew. We don't have to do that much to win this game.
Do you agree with me though that the coaching staff probably views it has less confidence in Drew, where they would want to put Teddy out there more so if he was more injured than other people would?
I assume the lowest that you could possibly put a player out there is 70%. There's no way you can put in a guy at 65%.
Yeah, I would agree. But you're saying 80, and I think the coaching staff would be below that. And yesterday, the coaching staff was acting as if it was going to be Teddy. Vic Fangio made it clear that he is planning on it being Teddy. Pat Shurmur said those words exactly. And when I asked Teddy, you expect to play? He completely avoided it. He said, I'm going to be in the training room doing as much as I can do to get myself ready. And then when he was asked some follow-ups, it was very similar. Teddy Bridgewater does not know if he's going to play in this game.
Play Drew.
Is it 27-10 regardless?
Yeah, because I've got 2 offensive touchdowns, 2 offensive field goals, and a defensive touchdown.
Love it. Man, that would be huge for the Broncos to get some momentum. And this game is huge for both. Both teams are 3-3, but clearly with the Browns playing without these many people, isn't the desperate team the Broncos?
Actually, no. I got to come back on the points just a little bit, just because I know that Pat Shurmur doesn't know how to call plays for Drew Lock. So I'll say 20-10 I'll take 7 off the board.
And you're sticking with the 27 if it's Teddy.
27-10, yeah.
And then you throw in, gosh, I mean, there are just so many competing things on both sides, because then you throw in the fact that this is a Thursday night road game, and that's about the toughest you can play. But then the Browns are decimated. I don't know. Ryan, this is the weirdest game of the season.
It is a weird game. And just think about this. The Browns have no time to game plan for this. Not for backup quarterback, backup running back, backup tackles.
Right.
They have no time to put together.
Just as much as it hurts the Broncos not allowing Drew Lock to have those snaps,
yes.
it's the same for the Browns.
All right, we got a big super chat here. Let's hit that real quick. From our homie DTL, how can you say Teddy is that much better when all offseason they were basically even? Now all of a sudden he's half the quarterback. Teddy is way too much recency bias based off the first 3 games.
DTL, I think that's going back to the conversation that we had the entire offseason, is that's how the coaching staff views it. And it doesn't matter how you and I view it. It's how the coaching staff views it. If they think he's 80%, still better at 80%, he's still better at 60%, we don't make the decision. That's why I feel so strong about it, is because of how the coaching staff is the one to make the call. And Ryan, we have seen nothing since training camp that has made me think maybe the coaching staff's getting more confidence in Drew. Now, Pat Shurmur yesterday said he's very confident in Drew has to start. What the heck else is he going to say? But their actions have not led to that at all.
I also think, and maybe I'm putting too much faith in this coaching staff. It's happened before. I think that now that you have this, you don't have to go into this game saying, how are we going to score 30? You don't even have to go into this game saying, how are we going to score 24? I personally don't believe. So to me, I'm looking at this game and saying double team Myles Garrett on every single play.
Without a doubt.
The only person who can beat you is Myles Garrett, in my opinion, on the entire field. So do not let it happen. Now, again, I'll come on this show after the game, 3 beers deep, and take my lashings.
No, you said it's guaranteed. You're not going to have to take any lashings.
If they're dumb enough to let Myles Garrett wreck this game for them and, get 2 strip sacks. And
he could. He had 4.5 sacks 3 weeks ago.
Yes. But to me, when Steph Curry was at Davidson, there was a team that literally decided we are going to double team him the entire game. Not every time he touches the ball. No. The entire game we are dedicating 2 people to him, and we will play 4-on-3 on the rest of the court. Mm-hmm. We don't care. Now they lost. But they didn't have a chance either way. They held Steph Curry to like 2 points.
Beautiful.
That is what you need to do in this game. And guess what? If you double team him, you don't have to go, 4-on-3 on the rest of the line. You're adding a lineman and taking away a receiver. And so go into this game and just say, anyone but Myles, good luck. Mm-hmm. Double team him, chip him, make his life a living hell, frustrate him, get him jumping off sides because he can't make any impact on this game. You'll have plays like TJ Watt. I think he was triple teamed, and then they broke the pocket and he got in there and he made the play. That you can live with that. You can't live with the play before that where he just won a one-on-one matchup and won the game for them.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right. And Kenny in the comment section says, praying for a miracle. Ryan, this should not be a miracle.
The miracle would be Case Keenum beating the Broncos.
That should be. It really should be at this point. And the Broncos have, I think they start last week, I believe on Saturday, before the Broncos lost to the Raiders, they were a 6-point underdog on DraftKings Sportsbook. Now that line is, I believe, 1 or 1.5 over at DraftKings, telling you that, Kenny, it really shouldn't be a miracle for the Broncos to win this game. It's pretty much a pick'em game right now. And just to add to how much their injuries are, Ryan, this is who has not practiced for the Cleveland Browns this week so far. We'll get the official game status report, but I imagine a lot of these guys are going to be out or questionable. Odell Beckham Jr. did not practice. We know Nick Chubb is out. We know Jack Conklin, one of their starting tackles, has not practiced, did not play this past week. Their other starting tackle, Jedrick Wills Jr., did not play last week, has not practiced this week. Their starting center, J.C. Treader, did not practice this week at all. Their cornerback, A.J. Green, did not practice. Baker Mayfield, we know, is out. And that is pretty much half of their offense. And not just half of their offense, that is their most important players on offense.
Yeah, I didn't know about the center. If the center's out too,
Yes.
give me a couple more points. 30 to 10.
There we go. We're hitting the 30 burger.
I truly believe this is a Broncos Cardinals Thursday night repeat. The other Von Miller guarantee game. And Von Miller was too scared to guarantee. Remember that. I'm the one who guaranteed it, not Von Miller.
Let's go. In that game, Ryan, Von Miller had 5 quarterback hits. He had 2 sacks. He had a forced fumble and an additional quarterback hit and a tackle for a loss in that game. The Broncos had 2 pick sixes. The Broncos had Emmanuel Sanders throwing a touchdown pass. They even had DeMarcus Walker get a strip sack. That's how good things were going in that game. And Ryan, this game is nearly 3 years later to the date. Both games were in week 7. The parallels are insane. The Broncos are facing a bad quarterback in Josh Rosen in that game. They're facing a bad quarterback in Case Keenum in this game. And boy, like you said, the revenge should be on the Broncos side of Case Keenum. It should be getting after him for going 6-10 in his time with the Broncos.
All right, we got another super chat here from Ian B. When calling plays for Drew Shermer seems like an angry stepfather who can't stand his wife's kids but doesn't want to make a scene at Thanksgiving.
Wow.
All right, guys. So if you want to come down here and celebrate the immaculate vibes that are going to be in here
I do have Mace's score if you guys want his.
Oh, yes. Mace's score is in Alley. It has actually changed.
I just texted him.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, he has the Broncos winning 23-22.
Wow. If they give up more than 20 points to this Browns offense, that's an embarrassment. It's not happening though. Broncos are going to win. And again, as I was going to say, if you want to come down here and bask in the immaculate vibes as the Broncos beat the ever-living crap out of the Browns, you got to come down to the DNVR bar because we are having maybe the most lit watch party we've ever had that wasn't for a playoff game for another team.
Yep.
This is the most lit regular season watch party we've ever had for any team, and I really, really want you guys to come for this one. Like, if you are in the area, if you're within like a 4-hour drive, we're going to make this worth your time. 50 to 75% off all gear.
Everything's at least 50% off.
The least discount you can get on any item downstairs in the DNVR store is 50% off. Tons of stuff going for even more than that. Then, when you come here and you show up, you're going to get a raffle ticket. That is going to enter you in for all sorts of awesome prizes. All that awesome Breck Brew Broncos Country Pale Ale gear. I don't know if you guys have seen that. They've got sweet hats. They've got sweet shirts, jackets, all that stuff. Then on top of that, Zach, we are doing a jersey giveaway. If you show up here, you are entered into the jersey giveaway as long as you post a picture that you're here, which you'll be asked to show if you win the giveaway. And that giveaway is not just like, oh, we went and picked out a jersey from the store. No. Any player, any number, any color. You want it, you got it if you win this raffle. That's going to be awesome.
So cool.
You want to get here early? Sneak out of work a little early? Free beer for the first 50 people that come through the door.
Hey.
And I could keep going. There's going to be an exclusive DraftKings pool for free.
Yep.
All you got to do is scan and you're in. Winner gets $100 into their DraftKings account. It goes on and on and on. You can see all the stuff on the graphic there, but it's even more than that. So make sure you come down. This is going to be absolutely lit, and the Broncos are going to get a win, which is going to be even better. So make sure you come down and hang out with us at the DNVR bar tomorrow.
And Ryan will be here, of course, throughout the game. But also, if you're one of those first 50 people grabbing the free beer and you're here early, come up and watch our pregame show.
Hell yeah.
We'll be going live on YouTube at 5:30, a quick little pregame show, 5:30 to 6. It's going to be an absolute blast, Ryan. We rarely get to do these because the Broncos don't have primetime games anymore. But it's going to be so much fun. Then, of course, after, we'll be doing a post-game pod, so tune in right after the game. game ends, we'll be going on live. And, of course, if you're at the bar, come up and watch.
I was just inspired for an idea for our pregame show. So keep an eye out for what that's going to be. I have a really good idea.
I love it. I love it. And something else I love, Ryan, is our friends over at Mint Mobile. They want to save you money. They're offering cell phone service for $15 a month. And you say, well, there's definitely a catch, because there's a catch with all other cell phone providers. But with Mint Mobile, there is not. Here's how they bring you such cheap cell phone service, and it's just as good as every other cell phone service out there. And here's how they do it is they don't have stores. So they don't waste money on brick and mortar stores. And you don't need that. You don't want to go into your store, into your wireless store. It's wireless. You just want it sent to you, and that's exactly what Mint Mobile does. So if you go to mintmobile.com/DNVR, they will send you a SIM card. You take that SIM card, put it in the phone you have, download an app, and boom, there you go. It is that simple, and you'll be saving, almost $100, probably more than $100 a month right away. You get to keep your own phone, and it is just the exact same cell phone service as the other big providers. So check them out over at mintmobile.com/DNVR. Ryan, we did it. It's a GIF. It's so easy, and it literally is the exact same service at a fraction of the cost. So check them out at mintmobile.com/DNVR.
And finally, you guys heard of Ball, as in Ball Arena, or as in Ball Aerospace? And of course, when you look on any can you're ever drinking from, you'll see that Ball logo on there. Ball made over 101 billion cans.
Insane.
Which is about how many points the Broncos are going to beat the Browns by tomorrow. Just a few more. They made 101 billion cans last year. And instead of saying, like, wow, that's a really high mark, they said, we need to make more cans. So they're looking at you and saying, hey, come help us make more cans at our plant in Golden. They're hiring. They are an amazing workplace, as Aunt Julie can attest to. And they want you to come down and work there. So what you got to do is text Golden to 77222, or go to jobs.ball.com and search for Golden. Or again, simply text Golden to 77222 for more information. Go get a job at Ball.
Go get a job at Ball. And Ryan, let's try to keep our job, and let's try to keep our picks going in the right direction. Let's take a look around the AFC West to get some of our predictions for what else is going to happen in the AFC West. And Ryan, first, let's take a look at the standings and just see where we're at right now.
Oh?
Yeah.
Sorry, give me a second.
It's okay. Allie's pulling it up. I'll pull it up as well. But Ryan, you and I are lagging. We're lagging. Mace is in the lead, and he doesn't even get a chance to gloat about it right now. Mace has a 10-8 standings. Ryan, you and I tied for second at 8 and 10. You think we can come back on him this week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I finally was right on the Chargers, and that got me back in the game.
Yes,
just got to stick to my guns, baby. Stick to my guns.
Well, I'm curious if you're going to stick to your guns. Well, you can't stick to your guns this week because the Chargers are playing the bye week. Yes. So they won't get a win. You're right about that.
Guarantee they won't win.
Yes, you're right about that. And let's talk about an interesting game. A lot of people I've seen, I'm calling this one an upset special. And if anyone's going to call this an upset special, Ryan, it would be you. The Philadelphia Eagles going into Las Vegas to play the Raiders. Raiders at home after what they did to the Broncos last week. Again, at home against a bad Eagles team. I'm sorry to say that, Allie. Are 3-point favorites. They're getting the home 3. That's it. I mean, what am I missing here with this? Is it that people think that last week was just that so much emotion they were playing it, and this is a big come down game?
I don't know. I can feel it. I can feel it a little bit. You know why? Because as I say, if you ever see a line that makes you uncomfortable, it's probably right. And so that one makes me highly uncomfortable. So it's probably right. It's probably going to be a close game. Oh, man. I feel like I'm chasing if I do that.
No,
Who did Mace pick?
Do it. He picked the Raiders.
Okay, and you're going to pick the Raiders.
Chase, baby.
You believed in the Eagles last week.
Yeah, you
At least
did.
cover the spread, and they did.
Yeah, but this isn't against the spread.
This is not against the spread.
I got to go Raiders.
Oh, boo. So, I guess we'll find out on Broncos Pick'em if you like them against the spread or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I see this as a double-digit point victory.
I don't know. There might be like a little bit of a letdown hangover effect.
It could be. It really could be.
And like Sirianni, Bisaccia, Who's the better coach? Who's to say?
Who's to say? We'll find out. And then the other game, Ryan, is maybe one of the best games in the NFL this week. And by the way, I know you know this because you're a bets guy. Well, actually, we'll talk about this in a second. But Chiefs at Titans. Man, this one is one of the best quarterbacks in the league going up against the best running back in the league.
Yeah. What's the spread?
I believe it's 5.5.
Right. Another one where I like the spread.
You like Titans. I'll find out in Broncos pick 'em.
The Chiefs can't stop the run, man. This is the upset special. This is the one. This is the upset special. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is where I'm going to reach. I'm going to try to get one back on you guys. Give me the Titans.
And I love that. I love that, Ryan. I think this is a great spot for an upset. Derrick Henry is running like an absolute madman. However, it happened on Monday Night Football. And for that physical of a game, I think that's just going to tire the Titans just enough.
Fair.
But, Ryan, I have about 0% confidence in the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Derrick Henry, it wouldn't surprise me if even after going for 3 touchdowns and 148 rushing yards on Monday night, if he goes for 210 and 3 touchdowns again against the Chiefs defense is so bad. And Ryan Tannehill is really proving to not be the great quarterback that he was last year. I mean, he's got
or the year before.
He's got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown doing absolutely nothing out there. This is all on Derrick Henry. And
I will say, he made a lot of big throws on Monday Night Football. His stats were awful. I think he was like 11 for 23 or something. Like all 11 throws were big. Like third downs or like chunk plays.
I don't even remember any throws from him because Derrick Henry is just all I can remember from that game.
What works for him is when Derrick Henry starts gashing people. I mean, it makes his life so easy because they run those crossing routes over the linebackers, and all the linebackers have come down into the hole.
Right.
And so you've got A.J. Brown or Julio Jones just running wide open over the middle of the field. He's good at hitting those. I think anyone would be good at hitting those if they had.
Except for Paxton, right?
Oh,
Isn't that the hardest route?
Well, 5 yard in was the
5 yard
hardest
in,
route for
okay.
him. Not as much as like I don't know. It's not even. It's like a intermediate over, just I guess a regular over route. But yeah, I think they might be able to get this done.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here just because if you're talking about a great quarterback or a great running back, I have to give the nod to the great running back. And Mace is also going with the Chiefs. But Ryan, I'll tell you what, I do like that 5.5 points for the Titans.
I really like that.
Yeah,
really like it.
Yeah.
And I think I also like. I think I like that money line. It's going to be juicy.
I like that. I like that as well. And, of course, this was the exact same situation the Titans were in on Monday night. They were a 6-point dog at home to a team that just beat the Chiefs, a team better than the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, and they were able to pull off the upset. So there's a lot of things pointing to that upset. I love it, although you're going to be wrong. You're going to come just a couple points short of that. But, Ryan, the other thing I was going to talk to you about going past the AFC West here is all of the lopsided games in the NFL this week. I think there's 4 games that are lines of over 10 points, which is just insane. I mean, you see one of those a weekend. If you even see that, maybe you see a 12-point game and a 10-point game. Now you see just huge lines. I mean, we're talking there's a 14.5, there's a 17.5, there's a 12.5, maybe, and then I know there's a 9.5 with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, this seems to happen every year, in my opinion, where early on they keep all the spreads close. And then everyone starts fading the hell out of these bad teams. And Vegas just can't help it. They have to make the spreads higher. This is usually the point when those teams start to cover, though. I'm a big Cardinals guy. I don't think they can cover 17.5. Actually, I think they can. I don't think they will.
Yeah, that hook makes it just extra tough.
3-score spreads in the NFL, very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare to cover.
That's the Denver Broncos playing the Jacksonville Jaguars with Peyton Manning.
Largest favorites of all time.
Yep.
So my question is, you gave 2 answers for your Broncos.
Yeah.
You said if Teddy Bridgewater plays, then the Broncos win. Drew Lock plays, then they lose. So what should a production team do about the graphic?
You gotta take a side. You gotta make a prediction about what quarterback's
At
gonna
least
play.
I think Drew's gonna play.
So he thinks Drew plays and they lose.
Right.
Oh, brutal.
Okay.
I hate it.
I was so ready to pick the Broncos to lose this week, and there's just no chance.
What if Case Keenum, or if you woke up today and Baker Mayfield was the starting quarterback?
What would I have predicted?
Yeah. Still not feeling as good. I mean, it did seem like Case is what really you woke up, saw the Case news, everything was bright in the world.
Yeah, that's not even like Baker's good this year.
He's not.
He's
Teddy Bridgewater has better stats everywhere around than Case.
Well, and Teddy was really good for 3 weeks, so it's a little bit skewed.
Sure, yeah.
But Baker's been pretty bad this year.
He's averaging 1 passing touchdown per game.
Yep.
1.
He's also leading the league in uncatchable balls on throws 20 yards or more downfield.
Yikes.
I mean, there's you could just go on and on and on about how average he's been. He's the leader. He is, the queen bee. You take out the queen bee, and all of a sudden the hive has no idea what to do.
Ryan, you know how I was saying how statistically Case Keenum's better than Drew Lock, and the stats at least prove that? You know what, one thing we can say for certain is Case Keenum isn't a guy that's going to rally the troops. He's not a backup that's going to come in and really buy everyone's attention right away. Whereas Drew Lock, I think he can do that. He can bring energy for a game or two and get guys to rally around him. Case is not that guy. We saw it here firsthand.
No, and honestly, you would imagine that guys like Von Miller, Shelby Harris, and Justin Simmons want to get after him a little bit because he wasn't exactly well liked here in Denver.
Too bad Devontae Booker's not on this team.
Yeah, or Philip Lindsay.
Remember Devontae Booker's quote?
Yep.
When they brought in Joe Flacco after Case Keenum, and he said, "Oh, it's great. The quarterbacks say hi to you when you walk by them in the locker room now." It's like, excuse me, what?
Yep.
Case Keenum wouldn't say hi to you in walking, in passing?
Case Keenum just siloed himself in.
He did, to the tune of $18 million for that 1 year.
To the tune of $18 million for, I believe, 18 touchdowns.
Yep, and then the next year got paid $4 million by the Broncos, I think, to leave.
That coaching staff was so bad though. Remember they're jerking him around all season.
Yep.
He goes 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and they're like, "Whoa, we need to chill out on stop throwing the ball so much downfield."
So
then he's like,
cool.
"Fine, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions."
Yeah. Instead of winning 28-27, we're gonna win or lose, I guess, 13-12.
And he got the treatment that Teddy Bridgewater is now getting, which is, we'll pack it in on the inside and see if you can beat us on the outside, and he couldn't do it. So that's what they're going to do as well to the Broncos. Teddy has to make plays. Or, honestly, Drew, I'm not worried. Like, I think Drew can make the necessary plays if he has to play downfield because it's going to be tough to run the ball. You're going to be in some tough situations if you're forcing the run, I think. But get Drew in those RPOs, get Drew in that play action, get him in the pistol, get him under center running bootlegs, and I think that he can make some big throws downfield for you to win this game. By the way, Teddy being hurt, we already talked about earlier in the week that he doesn't throw well in the wind. It's supposed to be windy down there. Maybe just play Drew.
Ryan, who makes that decision?
Well, Vic does.
Vic, because I asked him yesterday, and he said it's a combination of Teddy, medical staff, and coaching staff.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I think if the medical staff clears him, Vic will. It's still his decision, but he will choose Teddy.
Vic will clear him as well
Yes.
to his end. I think so too. And Ryan, the best move for Vic might be Vic and Pat Ryan might be going with Drew this week, because then it gives Teddy 2 full weeks to recover instead of trying to force him this week. Maybe that playing this week impacts him for next week as well. But also, Ryan, think about it this way, especially if you're Pat and Vic. I don't think Vic's worried about his job, but if Pat's worried about his job, let's say the Broncos go out there with Drew and look great. He just saved his job, at least for another couple of weeks. Let's say Drew goes out and looks really bad. Couldn't Pat say, I had a backup quarterback. Vic, what was I supposed to do? You know how much you don't like Drew, and I had to work with him this week. You can't fire me, because we've talked about how a coaching change could come Friday if things go bad. If it's a backup quarterback, doesn't Pat buy a little bit of leeway there? Especially if, you lose the game because Drew goes out and throws a couple of picks. Pat's going to say, I couldn't do anything about that, Vic. That wasn't on me.
Yeah, I think everything just changed. First of all, the Broncos are going to win, so no one's getting fired on Friday. But
Hope not.
I don't even want to say if it's not happening. But the whole thing has changed. It's a totally different ball game, especially if Drew plays. It'll be considered a throwaway game, pretty much regardless. In my opinion, no one's getting like special credit for this win. I'm not going to come on here after they win and say like, Vic's back, baby. Pat Shurmur for president. You say, good job. You took care of business. Do it again next week.
Right. And then get to 5-3. I mean, that's the opportunity the Broncos have here. And not to get too far ahead, but that game will be against Taylor Heineke and a terrible Washington football defense. Their defense is the worst in the NFL. Ryan, I couldn't believe it with how stacked their front seven is, specifically their defensive line, how bad that defense is.
Crazy. A huge opportunity.
And so we're talking about not just that, but then you play the Cowboys, you lose that game, that's fine. Then you play the Eagles at home. Ryan, you could be going on another almost 3-game win streak. You could put 3 of the next 4 together. And then what we talk about this team is they're just streaky. They're not bad. They're not great. They're streaky. And if you're streaky entering the playoffs or in that last couple games where you need to make the playoffs and you're hot on that streak, you're going to make the playoffs.
Does 3 of 4 save make Vic's job cool, his seat cool?
Yeah, he's not fired midseason.
Well, yeah, definitely. But
for after? No.
So let's say they win 3 out of the next 4. That puts them at 6-4.
Yep. 6-4 entering the bye, but then what you have to remember about after the bye is it's the toughest stretch. They're only easy because they used to have 2 easy games, Bengals and Lions. Now it's just the Lions game, and then it's 4 division games, 2 against the Chargers, or 5 division games, 1 against the Raiders on the road, 2 against the Chargers, 2 against the Chiefs, and it's really tough. And Ryan, something else that's super tough is if you try to shave below the belt with a razor that's not made for it. Talk about yikes. It could look like a scary, bloody Halloween scene down there.
Oh, my gosh.
If it goes wrong. So if you want to avoid that, use the Lawnmower 4.0.
One of the worst feelings ever, by the way.
Oh, my gosh. And then you're midway through and you're like, I can't stop now. I mean, got to just keep plowing through. And you won't have to plow through if you have the Lawnmower 4.0 because it'll glide right through. No nicks thanks to their skin-safe technology. You can see everything that's going on down there with their LED light. And it doesn't matter if you're in the shower or not because it is waterproof so you can take it anywhere with you. So make sure to check out everything they've got going on, including the Weed Whacker. Trim your nose, trim your ears, trim anywhere else that it'll fit. You can try that as well, and all of the other products they have, which will clean your body. I don't even know what that's referring to, but yeah, just use your imagination because Manscaped can do it all. So check them out, manscaped.com. Use the code DNVR to get 20% off and free shipping.
Check out our friends also at Solace Meds who will let you make the super discount. So they've told us if you go down to a Solace Meds location, you can get 25% off Dixie Gummies, 25% off Solace Bars, 25% off Solace Sticks. Those are new. 25% off Mile High Extractions and more and more and more. Then you use the code DNVR20 on top of that to create a super discount where you get 20% off your already discounted items. And you should get a Solace Bar or King Cone when you mention that code DNVR. So check out our friends over at Solace Meds. That's SOLACE meds.com. They've got 4 locations in Fort Collins, Wheat Ridge, 1 off of Broadway, and 1 just blocks away from the DNVR bar on East Colfax.
And you talk about parlays, super discounts. A parlay is a 2-in-1. That's what at least a 2-in-1. That's what our friends over at Strava Craft Coffee are offering. They're giving you a 2-in-1 punch with their delicious CBD coffee. Of course, you get the delicious coffee. You get the caffeine jolt. But then you also get the CBD, which can relieve aches, pains, headaches, migraines, anything that's going on, it can help relieve. Some people even say it gets rid of the coffee jitters. So in the morning, you get the caffeine without feeling jittery the rest of the day. And we've got another parlay for you, or maybe a super discount. Double 2 things up. If you use the code DNVR25 over at StravaCoffee.com, what you'll get is 25% off your first order. And then if you subscribe to Strava, it's free. You'll get 20% off the rest of your life on every single order that you have. And you can have it where it's set up to be delivered however often you want. It'll just ship to you every 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. However often you want, it'll show up to your door at that 20% off. So check them out. Use that code DNVR25 over at StravaCoffee.com.
All right, Zach, let's jump into the questions from our listeners. But first, is there anything you'd like to congratulate me on?
Oh, we got another championship, don't we? What are we up? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. You got a full hand.
Yep, I got to put a ring on my middle finger now.
Oh.
For the whole league.
You feel like Tom Brady?
Yeah, I do feel like Tom Brady. It feels great. An incredible game last night.
Yeah.
Probably the most entertaining Super Bowl to this point. Final score, I believe, was 61 to 48.
Yep.
If you guys knew our Madden League, those types of shootouts aren't very common.
No.
There's a lot of like good
more
defense.
like real NFL games.
Totally, yeah. Normally you get real scores, and this one was just crazy. Both of us were scoring on damn near every possession. A couple big turnovers by my secondary deep down the field. I kept getting smoked by Marquise Brown.
Yep.
Finally, I made an adjustment that allowed me to cover him, 50 yards down the field. And shout out to Brian.
Yep. We knew it was going to be that combo the whole
right.
The
this
whole
is
year.
like back in the Warriors Cavs days.
Yep.
Just sign it up. But that was the last one for Madden 21, so we move on to Madden 22, a whole new slate, a whole new ball game.
Brian, I love you, but he hasn't beat you in any of those, has he? So it's a little different.
A little bit of a Buffalo Bills effect.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, at least they turned it around. Brian, you may have to wait 20 years to get your Josh Allen.
Maybe.
20 seasons. We'll be on like 20. We'll be on the next console by then.
Potentially.
But congratulations, Ryan. 2021 was your year in Madden. 2022 is not going to be.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I'm coming for you.
We'll see. Also, shout out to Brian for real. He's a homie.
He's awesome. I think everyone here wants Ryan to lose. So we're still looking for a couple spots.
Nope. We are full.
All filled. Loved it.
The wait list is wide open.
Yes.
So email Timmy from Sweden at gmail.com and he will get you signed up and on the wait list because we have you'll get a chance. You will get a chance if you get on the wait list.
You got the console yet?
Nope.
Oh, wow, you are rolling.
One game at a time.
Maybe you'll miss out on the draft and you'll be stuck with all the bad players and then you'll never be able to succeed.
That would be terrible.
Except I know you'll be able to succeed.
I don't know. No, I have to. This draft is a lot more important to me now because no one will trade with me. Everyone's afraid that they're going to get fleeced.
Yeah, Madden League, don't trade with Ryan.
It's not going to happen, so don't worry about it. All right, let's get into this.